Welcome, everybody. This is 2023, the revival of the Knights of Columbus Indoor Games. It is the 100th anniversary of the State Councils of the Knights of Columbus. So let's congratulate them. Larry Packett, State Deputy, is here. Larry, where are you? Where's Larry? There's Larry back there. Larry is a great guy, and he does a lot of things on behalf of the Knights of Columbus, but one of the things he does is put a lot of work into the indoor games. So thank you. And now, most of you have met him, our special guest, the man who made Canadians proud so many times, Donovan Bailey. Come on up, Donovan, please. So,
that's okay.
Donovan.
Yes, sir.
Basic question. I know you're in Saskatoon because we invited you.
Yes.
But why would you say yes? So why are you really here?
Why would I say yes to Saskatoon? Saskatoon played an incredible role in the journey of me being the fastest human being alive. I started here in 1991. I came here for the first time. I came here for the first time for the Canadian, I think it was Canadian Indoor Championships, yeah. And it was, you know, I got a lot of love. And it was the first time I actually recognized that I was competing against the best people in Canada. I think that Ben Johnson was coming back in 1991. Bruni was here, and I believe that Atlee Mahorn was, I think it was, he ended up being a bronze medalist at the World Championships in the 200 meters. And I was fourth. So in 1991, when I got here, you know, it was the first race that I actually lost. But it was also the greatest lesson that I learned, because I realized that I now belonged, and at some point I'm going to be the best.
And that happened in Saskatoon.
And that happened right here in Saskatoon, in the field house.
You kept coming back.
And I kept coming back, freezing every year, but warm inside, and an incredible fan base, and people came out and treated me like a king, even before I was one.
And he was one, right? Yes. So, let's quickly flip back, though. There were some origins here. Now, you weren't born in Canada. Did you have an adventure coming to Canada?
No, not really. I mean, I moved to Canada when I was 7, then moved back to boarding school. I was born in Jamaica, so, you know, the weather's a little different there than it is here. But my family moved to Canada like everybody else that ever moved to Canada, for economic reasons and for opportunities, and, you know, we took full advantage of that.
So coming to Canada was no big culture shock for you?
I think the weather was a culture shock. I mean, you know, but seriously, it was. I mean, because, you know, for a long time I didn't think. I think that when I was very, very young, like 5, 6, 7, and I know that you all don't think this, but when I'm that young and you see Christmas cards and you see kids playing, and snow looks like it's like big cotton balls, that's what I thought it was. So my first Christmas here, I damn near died. Because I thought snow was something you played with just a t-shirt and pair of shorts. And that didn't work out very well for me. So recognized and realized later on that I needed to be dressed appropriately. And then I discovered, you know, the winter sports.
Sort of a reverse beach vacation coming to Canada.
Something like let's go with that. Let's go with reverse beach.
Sure.
Vacation.
Okay, let's jump forward a little bit. I read somewhere that you ran something like 1060 or 1065 in high school, but you weren't really a serious track guy.
I ran 1054 in high school.
1054.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I wasn't really training though, because track. So I started. I moved to Canada permanently after I finished boarding school. I didn't finish, but my dad. At 12, I moved to Canada. But I competed in Jamaica. I competed at there's a national high school championships that still go on today. It's the largest high school championships in the world, and it's where Usain Bolt, every single Jamaican Olympic champion or Olympian, Shelly Ann Fraser, everyone that you see today, as well as everyone before, competed at that competition. So I competed there when I was 11 years old. I was 4th in the 100 meters, and our relay team from my high school was 5th. So when I got here, and I ran 10:54 as a 15-year-old, but it really wasn't. You know, I love track. I liked track because I knew that I was a good, fast athlete, but I love basketball.
And you played a little college basketball.
A little hoop, yeah. I actually played hoop on Monday. What day is it? Where are we? Wednesday today? Yeah, Monday night I played some basketball.
Yeah.
Last Monday.
You still feeling okay?
No, God no. My knee is screaming back at me. But I will continue to do that sport. So, but certainly basketball is my passion. But it's clear that I was blessed with some speed.
Well, it's soccer.
I played soccer.
Yeah.
I played soccer, but I think that soccer and baseball got too boring after a while.
Soccer got boring?
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I like things, instant, and I think that basketball was indoor and warm, and I loved dunking the basketball. And track, he was over quickly, and that I could go find something else to go do. That's what I was saying about some of the kids that's doing distance running. I'm like, I respect you guys, but I'm not a runner. Don't ever say that. There are sprinters in here that know exactly what I mean. Right. There's sprinting and there's running, and those runners, we love you.
All right, so now let's move on to the surge to success. Somehow you emerged from that. You played basketball at Sheridan College?
Yeah.
Yeah, and somehow you emerged out of all that and continued and became a runner. How'd that happen?
Well, like I said,
A sprinter.
A sprinter, thank you. I was going to correct you, Dale, but that's all right. Well, I started in Jamaica. Track and field is I'm going to say it's like hockey, but it's not. I always encourage parents to allow their kids to play a sport, and I think that track and field is that for me, because there's an event for every single person, regardless of what size you are or whatever. I mean, there's an event for you in track and field. So in Jamaica, track and field is like our hockey. Every single kid, there's an event that you do when you're 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, and it was discovered then that I had some speed, I guess. So track and field started then, and when I got to Canada, I was also one of the from my age group, I was one of the fastest kids. By the way, I have a book coming out in August. There's a book coming out with Penguin Random House. I'll probably be back here for a book signing, hopefully. As a teenager, I was quite fast, and I won many regional championships. But I hated training. I did not like practice.
So did hating practice continue all the way through to Olympic gold medals and stuff like that?
Oh well, no. Clearly, that's actually what separated. Being a regional champion, and a lot of injuries, and a lot of hamstring injuries, and a lot of quad and ankle, calf injuries, and all of that stopped when I met Dan. I joined the national team in 1991 when I came here. That year, and because of my performance here, I made the national team from just the indoor competition. So I'm saying it started then. And although I actually trained part-time up until I met Dan Paff at LSU, and then I went down there to train at LSU. I was
Louisiana State University.
right. But I was doing that part-time until I went to see Dan full-time, and then I went to see Dan full-time, and 3.5 months later, I was one of the top 3 ranked in the world.
Amazing journey. And okay, so we're going to kind of jump into that journey because we can only do so much history, and I'd like to move right ahead to what happened in 95, 96. You came here in those years, and we thought it was fantastic because not only was he a great runner, but he even came here after he was the world champion. right?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
no, but I said that it's pretty important. I mean, and actually that's why I'm here now. I told you this when you guys first contacted me. I mean, you know, I'm here in Yellowlees to get some content and all that, but I always live in the moment, and I always like to reflect on where I came from, right? And you know, it's great to see Bob. I mean, it's just, you know, coming back in and seeing people that I dealt with personally, or my agents and dealt with personally, and like I said, the journey in 1991, I kind of came here and got real warmth and real support, and all the way through. So yeah, after winning the World Championships, and then winning the relay also, of course. I mean, this was kind of like you know, feather in the cap, and probably my good luck charm.
Wow, we're somebody's good luck charm. That's pretty good, isn't it? And the two Bobs, there are actually two Bobs going back to, and we've invited them to be here tonight. Bob Reindl, who looked after the international events in those days. There's Bob back there.
Wave, Bob, wave. We're friends now, wave.
And back in the middle at the back is Bob Barkman, who was the president of the indoor games in those days. So,
those are the boys.
Bob Square. Bob Square. All right, so I would like to bring us right up to the Olympic Games. We'd like to show you a little action here. But before we show it, I'd like to tell you something about the people who were in that Olympic race, because it's really an astonishing group of people. Now, if you've ever been to a track meet in Saskatoon, you know I do these long intros for athletes, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'll just quickly tell you who these people were. Mike Marsh, who had been the 92 double gold medal winner, 200 meters and 4x1 for the United States, so he was in that race.
Yeah.
Linford Christie, who had been the Olympic champion in the previous Olympics.
And world champion.
And world champion. That's right. But he had only run 10 flat prior to that race that season.
That's okay.
Right? And Marsh had run 9:95. Otto Bolden from Trinidad and Tobago, who had been the NCAA champion and 92 World Under-20 champion, and he had run 9:92 before the Olympics that year.
Sure.
Yeah. And Dennis Mitchell, who won more Olympic gold medals than anybody else. Not just Olympics, 4 world championship 4x1s and so on. And he'd run 9:92 that year before the Olympics. And Frankie Fredericks, who had run 9:86
Oh yeah.
before the Olympics that year. And Donovan, who had run 9:93 leading up to the Olympics that year. And then a couple of other guys who hadn't broken 10 going in. So you got 5 guys in that race who ran 9:95 or faster leading up to the Olympics. And you told people you expected to win. How in the world did you figure that with that kind of heat?
Well, one, I didn't really care that they were in the race. No, I mean, you don't. There's a lot of times that kids reach out to me and they're always concerned about competition. And I always try to remind them that the rent in your brain should be really, really expensive. And there's no chance that you should allow your competitor to get any part of that. And so it didn't really matter to me. I knew that I had the best coach in Dan Paff. I knew that Mark Lindsay is the best trainer, nutritionist. He was like my medical staff. And so the training group that I had, I felt it was the very best. And every single day I was actually enjoying going to the track and going to train and getting ready. And also there's a process that Dan and I were going throughout the year where we were, you know, working on things every single competition. I mean, there's professional track and field, for all of you who don't know, the winter season is wrapping up right now in Australia. Then the indoor season starts in North America. Then the outdoor season starts in North America and Europe. So, Dan and I had been going through major competitions, and we're working on little parts of running the perfect race all year. So I don't have any fear, but going into 96, I definitely had no fear.
We have another clip here that deals with the manufactured controversy over who is really the world's fastest man. You know why I say a manufactured controversy.
Oh, well, no, that's okay. I mean, that was fun.
So
That one was fun.
now this video explains some of it. Do you want to give your perspective before we watch the video?
I don't know what video you're gonna.
Okay, it's CBC stuff, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah,
It's
mix of
CBC
everything.
Okay,
coverage.
but what is it? Is it the 150?
It's the 150.
Well, I don't know. Wait, how about we talk after? Okay, so with the 100 meters that you all just saw, Jeff Gowen and Don Whitman and Steve Ovett. I mean, I watch the race and I get upset every time I see the race because my first 30 meters is horrible. I just want to make sure that you understand this. You know, from a nostalgic point of view, the announcers, Don Whitman is first ballot Hall of Fame guy, rest in peace. Jeff Gowen's the same, and Steve Ovett, phenomenal. So that's actually, like, when I see that, I actually miss the people that were there announcing the race, because clearly I know I did my thing, but it's so good that when someone is, like an announcer, is so amazing that through their voice they can, like, broadcast live to an audience maybe what I might be feeling or I might be doing. That's it. Sorry, Dale, go ahead.
And you think
I digress.
You feel they captured that?
I think so.
Good.
I think so. I mean, I think that, you know, I said earlier that, you know, I'm extremely blessed to share some incredible sporting moments with track fans and non-track fans here in Canada and around the world. And yeah, I think they captured it for sure.
All right. So, point is that nobody likes to think our guy is second best. So, of course, Canadians are saying fastest man in the world, and rightfully so. Donovan continues to say, I became the fastest man on the planet. But some folks south of the border beg to differ because, and they will say that the 96 Olympic Games really was the Michael Johnson Olympic Games because he won the 200 and the 400 and destroyed the world record in the 200.
Right.
So he really did have a fantastic Olympics.
Yeah, but I was the boss, man. I won.
Yeah, it's 100. I mean, come on.
I won the marquee event.
Yeah, the
Right,
marquee
and then Canada, and then the relay team beat America for the first time ever in the history of the Olympics. Remember that the first Olympic Games was 1896, and we won in their living room.
And
Right.
they didn't drop the baton. They didn't fail to advance out of the semis.
Correct.
They ran the race and got their butts kicked.
Thank you, Gail. There's absolutely no excuses.
Yes.
There's no excuses.
And I know where I was. I was at a wedding party that afternoon. And most of those people were gymnastics people.
Okay, we like that.
But nobody wanted to do anything but get around the TV to watch that relay.
That is awesome.
They weren't track people. They were Canadians who understood sports. And it was a religious moment for all of us.
Thank you. No, it is. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's you know, been blessed and humbled to have shared a ton. Like, it's not just that in Commonwealth Games, Pan Am Games, but I'm saying to you that the marquee events, I got to share some great moments with Canadians.
And while we're on the relay, 3 consecutive years best in the world. 95 world champions, 96 Olympic champions, 97 world champions. 3 in a row.
You missed 94 Commonwealth champion.
Commonwealth, okay. Well, that's a limited world, right?
Well, we were still number 1 in the
Yes,
world
you
that
were,
year.
you were.
Still, I got it. I'm just messing with you.
That was a Canadian record, the 96 performance, and it still stands as the number 3 all-time Canadian time.
Right.
Some of these performances endure. We all watched the wonderful Canadian performance winning the World Championships in Eugene. These guys would still have won the bronze medal in that race based on their time from 96 in Atlanta.
Would have been really old, but would have came third.
I don't know how many people have told me what they feel about being Canadian when they see that event.
Well, I mean, you know what? I'm reminded a lot by Canadians, especially, that it really is a true Canadian moment because it reminded them of the hockey fight. It reminded the race itself, the tension, reminded them of just the point where they're sick of being this, the stepbrother or whatever. I don't want to upset any stepbrothers. There might be. We live in a very delicate world these days. But I think that most Canadians just said they were just tired. I mean, they were tired. Thank you for representing them, because they were just tired of basically being beaten up. Because again, as Brian Williams was saying, the flowers that I expected to get, or the accolades that I expected to get, should have come after the 100 meters at the Olympic Games. I didn't think that was necessary. The race itself was never really going to be a race. Michael Johnson is one of the greatest speed endurance athletes in the history of the world, and for all of you who don't know the difference, I always try to explain it like in cars. I would be like a Ferrari, and he would be like a Prius. He's got power. He's got a lot of fuel. He's got a lot of fuel to burn. Meaning not in a bad way. You understand me? Okay. What I'm saying to you is all power. I mean, and so the race itself was never gonna be a race. I know that the announcer was broadcasting the race that I mean, if for the coaches in the room, I knew, and Dan and I spoke about this, that I was going to catch him within 10, 12 meters off the start of the race. Because, again, I'm, at the time, and still today, I'm the 50-meter world record holder. Thank you. One of the fastest 60-meter guys in the world, and also at that time was the world record holder for the 100 meters. And Michael, again, amazing athlete, but he's not a power sprinter. He's a speed endurance guy. So to me, I mean, it was fiscally very, it was a very good day at the office. That's just very good day at work.
There was big prize money up that day.
There was a lot of prize money indeed, and sponsorship money, and also, in fact, I mean, there are times that when people ask me about the Michael Johnson thing, I said, you know what? It's probably the first and only time that two track athletes were trailblazers in business, because we actually owned the meet and we understood the sponsorship and the what the pay-per-view numbers were and all that. So again, we were trailblazers in actually understanding the business side of it. But all in all, I don't think that you're all here to hear that. All in all, Canadians love the fact that they showed up to the Sky Dome and they got their money's worth.
They certainly did. And I think we got our money's worth here tonight, don't you? So, I think that's a great note. We could keep going and going and going. Donovan's going to be at the games tomorrow night and on Friday, and we'll have some people chasing his world record in the 50 meters on Friday evening.
God, that would be good if someone broke it.
Well,
wouldn't that be awesome?
For you?
No,
for track and field?
No, listen.
And for the KSC Games?
Of course.
Yeah.
For the games, of course. But I think you have to understand how I am. I mean, I have the Canadian record now, which is still 984, and I'm really dying for like Aaron or Andre or one of the kids to break it. I'm saying this because I'm the kind of person that I am. I like to play it forward. I mean, I have many gold medals, right? And we obviously have other medals. I mean, you can't take that away. And I know that at some point there's going to be someone that's going to be faster than the time that I ran. And so I really I want to see that. I'd love to see that when I can go out and enjoy it. I remember in 2008, I'm with CBC in the booth, and Usain Bolt broke my Olympic record then, and I just thought it was incredible. So I'm just trying to tell you that's the kind of person I am. I like that. I mean, part of my foundation is pass the baton, and pass the baton for me is every single Canadian. I don't care what you do for a living. Please pass that knowledge and wisdom and experience to somebody younger. And that's all it is. I mean, it's probably the simplest business model in the world. I mean, I'm just like, so I like to play it forward. So yes, it would be incredible tomorrow to see one of these kids break the world record. I mean, it's tough, but.
Thank you, Donovan Bailey. Thank you for being with us. And make sure you come out to the games and come and say hello to Donovan again.